Hey guys, Alex975 here today. In today's video, I just wanted to make a short video discussing sci-fi movies because it's a thing that I've noticed a lot now that's becoming quite a trend, is that sci-fi movies are starting to just become sequels and prequels and the same movie just remade with a different title and different cast, which is starting to really annoy me, and I think a lot of people have noticed this. And if you've noticed in the thumbnail of the video, I have used Blade Runner 2049 because I think that's the perfect example of what we're missing out on, because that movie is so original. I know that is actually a sequel as well, but if you've watched the first movie, you know that they basically have very little similar, even though the same characters and the same story, they're actually quite different movies. And anyways, Blade Runner 2049 is a very original movie, and that's one thing that I really miss, is very original movies in the sci-fi genre, because the sci-fi genre is a lot more interesting in my opinion than drama and stuff like that, especially for people that are in the younger audience like to watch sci-fi movies, but they need to be more original, and it's really annoying. Blade Runner 2049, I do know that it actually did flop as a movie, but it did have quite a big budget for a movie that, let's say, didn't have the biggest audience. But I would say over time that movie will become a cult classic, and, well, not really a cult classic, but it will become a classic, and eventually it will make back its budget, and it will probably in the very long future maybe even have a sequel. But that's the thing that's annoying me, is Disney is definitely the biggest villain for this, is that sci-fi movies are just constantly getting sequels, and Marvel is another example of that. And I know that's been Marvel's technique the whole time of making sequels and prequels, but Marvel used to make movies that were different. They all had the same kind of overall theme, but they were a good bit different. A good example would just be Iron Man and Captain America: The First Avenger. Completely different movies, but a great origin story for heroes, and the overarching story of the Avengers, which linked the two movies. These are two sci-fi movies that are really good, but they're both good in their own way. And that's one thing that Marvel is very bad at now, and I think everyone knows that, that they're all just the same kind of movie with the same reused formula, and it's kind of getting boring. Star Wars is another one. I haven't watched the Ahsoka show, so I can't say if I rate that good or bad. I'd say I won't make a video on it because it'll be a bit outdated by the time I actually come around to watching that show and giving my own opinion on it. It'll probably be outdated and everyone will have already seen it. But yeah, Blade Runner 2049, I know I keep mentioning that movie, and that's because that movie is the reason why I always think to make this video, because that movie is the perfect example of a movie that came out in the last 5 years. I'm pretty sure it came out in 2019, but I'm not sure. But whenever it came out in the last 5 years. It was very original. It might be 2017 now, but it was very original, and it was an amazing movie that's still being recognized today. I found off YouTube Shorts ever making edits of it, because it's a really good movie and I really enjoy it, and I'm probably going to watch it for a second time because I watched it for the first time about 6 months ago, and it was a very good movie. And it's so appreciated now that the one big problem is the bigger company, bigger title movies should be more original. Disney bought out Pixar, and now Pixar isn't original. I know Pixar isn't actually sci-fi in a way, but you kind of understand the genre. The genre of, like, younger audience love to watch it, but older audiences love to watch it as well, because there's other deeper themes that younger audiences wouldn't get, and just because the story doesn't have to be for young audiences. And yeah, that's just all I wanted to talk about. It's really annoying because Hollywood is just doing this because they keep getting loads of money for making sequels and prequels, but it's starting to slowly backfire on them now. Disney is more what I'm talking about than Hollywood in a sense, but Disney is really feeling the badness of their name getting tarnished because all their sci-fi movies have been crap in the last few years. Everyone just decided not to watch them, at least not in the cinema, and reasonably so. I barely watch any Marvel movies now, apart from the ones that I kind of know are going to be good, like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Spider-Man No Way Home. And even Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I was scared that movie was actually going to turn out bad because of Disney's track record. Disney really annoys me because I feel like they're the biggest example of it, and how stupid they are. And I'm not going to get into too much about it, but I hope they learn their lesson now, and I know they've made some tweets saying that they've learned their lesson and they're going to change up the formula now, but that will only come into place in the next few years, and by then their name might even be tarnished too much by that sense. But I really hope that sci-fi movies can come back to the top of their market. When Marvel was at its peak, sci-fi movies can be at the top, but they're also original. I think that's another example is the new Star Wars trilogy. That trilogy is definitely the worst trilogy out of the three. I don't think that's ever a question. And I'd say those three movies just leave a sour taste in your mind, how they affected the series, but not in a good way in any ways, really. All the characters were pretty bad, apart from maybe Kylo Ren. He was alright, because he had some deeper things about him. And The Rise of Skywalker is arguably the worst Star Wars product ever to come out. I know a lot of you might be saying it was The Last Jedi, but in my opinion, The Last Jedi actually took some risks. So that movie was actually probably the best in the trilogy, because it took risks, but the execution was terrible. The Force Awakens, even though it was the exact same as A New Hope, it was good. It was good enough, at least, let's say. Whereas The Last Jedi took a lot of risks, which I really respect it for, but none of them really worked out, especially Luke being a grumpy old man. So yeah, I'd say actually The Force Awakens is the best in the trilogy, but I respect The Last Jedi more for taking way more risks. But that's just an example of what I like. People taking risks, directors taking risks and not conforming to the common theme of all these sci-fi movies. And yeah, that's basically what I want to see. And I haven't seen any trailers for sci-fi movies, so I can't think of anything that I'm excited off the top of my head. I think, I don't know if this counts as sci-fi, but the new Hunger Games movie looks quite good, but that's not even original. Again, that's a sequel. That's what I'm saying. I can't think of a single sci-fi project in the last 5 years that isn't Blade Runner 2049 that was really good and was a success. I don't think even Blade Runner 2049 can't even be put in that category because it wasn't even a success. Although, as I said, it will probably in the long term become a success. So yeah, I'd like to talk about this topic a lot more. So if you guys could consider liking the video, I would definitely be inclined to make another video talking about this in a more in-depth. And I know I say this in every video of my commentary videos, but I've only made so many commentary videos. But once I start to run out of like instant ideas, then I might go more back onto my old commentary videos, but make a more in-depth analysis about it, because all these topics I really enjoy talking about, and that's one thing I want to keep on this channel, is that I'm talking about stuff that I really like to talk about. So yeah, I know I did say that I wouldn't be uploading a video until Sunday, but this is just an extra video in between Sunday. There won't be a video on Alex M975 today, but there might be one tomorrow, I don't know. I'll have to see how I am. But yeah, I really enjoyed making this video. This is a topic that I've been thinking about for a long time. One of the first topics I've been thinking about when I started going on commentary on this channel. I really wanted to talk about sci-fi movies and all that, but I don't know if it'll get much views, but I don't really care at this point. I just wanted to talk about what I like to talk about, because it doesn't really have a catchy title. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.